Now we're in homework 9, problem 1. In this problem, we have a stochastic process WT with the expected value which equals to 5, which equals to 0, and the auto correlation T1 T2 equals to alpha multiples the minimum value between T1 and T2. So now it defines another stochastic process YT equals to WT minus 1 for T is no less than 1, and also otherwise it equals 0. So now we need to find the expected value of YT. So we have the expected value of WT equals 0. So we put YT into this, and we put this this equation into this, and we got the value should be the expected value of omega t minus the expected value of omega t minus 1. So we have this equals 0, so the value of the expected value of YT should be 0. And so now we need to calculate the value of the autocorrelation of YT. So we use the formula. The autocorrelation equals the expected value of YT1 multiples YT2, and it equals to this. We put this we put YT into this, we got this, and it's a zeros calculation, and we got this the zeros formula. So we have, because we have the autocorrelation of WT, which equals to alpha multiplied by the minimum number between T1 and T2. So we have this zeros autocorrelation of WT. So we put this into this equation, and we got this. So now we need to make some assumption. First, we need to assume that T1 is more than T2, and in this case, we also need to assume different cases. So we have, because we have T2 minus 1 and T1 minus 1, so we need to make some assumption. First, we assume that T2 is less than T1 minus 1. So in this case we put this into this, and we got the autocorrelation. So in this, the minimum number should be T2, and the minimum number should be because T2 is less than T1, so the minimum number should be T2 minus 1. And in this, the minimum number should be T1 minus the T2, because T2, I have assumed that T2 is less than T1 minus 1. And so in this, the minimum number should be T2 minus 1. So we put this result into this, and we got the autocorrelation should be 0. Okay, this is the first case. And another case in T1 is more than T2 is T1 minus 1 is less than T2. It's less than T2, and T2 is still less than T1. So in this case, the result should have been changed. In this, T2 is more than T1 minus 1. So in this element, the value should be T1 minus 1. So we put this into this, and we got the result is alpha multiplied by t2 minus t1 and minus t1 plus 1. So this is the whole case is about when t1 is more than t2. So we have the result that when t1 is more than t2, the expected value should be the autocorrelation should be 0 and alpha multiplied by 1 minus the value of t1 minus t2, and this is these are two cases for t1 is more than t2. So for t2 it's more than t1, it should be the same, and we should be the same, and the result should be 0 and alpha multiplied by 1 minus the value of t2 minus t1. This is for when for t2 is more than t1. So all in all, the result of the autocorrelation of yt should be 0, and when the absolute value of t1 minus t2 is more than 1, and alpha multiplied by 1 minus the value of t1 minus t2, and when the absolute value of t1 minus t2 is no more than 1. So from this result, we know that the autocorrelation is all about t1 is related to t1, the value of t1 minus t2, and also we have the expected value of yt equals 0. So yt is WSS, y sense stationary.